And we're live. Hello and welcome to episode 155 of Game Theory Gang. I'm your host, Maddie Allen. We've got a great show for you with Fast Abdoul. Welcome.
Thanks, Maddie. What's going on today?
Well, lots of exciting opportunities out there in PulseChain. And yeah, so I'm really excited that the entire PulseChain community had a chance, which many of us took, to go out to Las Vegas and get together in person, even though we're one of the strongest YouTubing communities in all of crypto. We still like to meet up in real life too, huh?
Yeah, that was great. It was, you talk to people just about every day, in our case, on the screen, but until you actually meet them in person, it doesn't feel like it's real. But I got to meet almost all the people on TV, so that was cool.
Yeah. And so we're coming off of that excitement, and that's why our other two Game Theory Gang regulars are not here tonight. ChrispyMan and Kareem are both still traveling.
Fair enough. We'll hold it down.
Right on. So, yeah, so within the past week, right? So some people may have watched my Thursday show, but in the last week, Fast Abdoul, I actually put out a tweet that was my most liked tweet of all time in 8 years in the game. And nice. As a crypto psychologist, I always look at that and say, what is the deep truth that so many people are engaging with? And so I was thinking maybe we could go over that, because that's part of the idea of what the thumbnail is here and what the title is. And of course, I'm sure we'll get into lots of different topics going forward. But
sure, yeah, let's do it. What is the connection? What make that post bigger than any other post?
Well, I think it was more than one part. I think the idea. So it was some clues that Coinbase may be considering to list PulseChain, the entire network. And so I got my tweet here, and I already went over it on Thursday, but I want to add to this analysis and this game theory, because my Thursday show isn't so much just about game theory. So, you can go ahead and unmute yourself when you're not typing.
How do we know that Coinbase is thinking of listing?
Well, they sent this strange message to Sense Foundation, and that was after 3 levels up in customer service, which is presumably management, was not giving such a boilerplate response. Now this could seem like a boilerplate response, but I want to focus more of the education tonight and the game theory on why it makes so much sense for a top 3 centralized exchange to list PulseChain. And the case is pretty simple. We've got the largest on-chain volume of any chain that isn't traded on a centralized exchange. And so, whether it's Coinbase or Kraken or Binance, as I put in this tweet, people are excited about this idea of the airdrop of all the PRC20 copies, but even just PulseChain itself has been victorious against the SEC, has in court, not just in political favors. We have this grassroots community that reminds everybody who is being honest with themselves about the early Bitcoin community. We had 230 YouTubers come on to break the world record at one of the conferences I put on last year, and we just keep going. PulseChain will be 2 years old in May. PulseChain is the most thriving fork of Ethereum, and I think has enough unique value propositions besides what's already out there for Ethereum. I think Vitalik is when he says he doesn't want to win, I think what that means is that he doesn't want the price of Ethereum to go nuts like it did last cycle and made the network unusable. And so I think PulseChain is uniquely positioned to create, a store of value narrative to complement what Ethereum has already done in the past. And we might be able to fix the Ethereum network in terms of keeping it usable and have all the compatibility of smart contracts and EVM, compatibility.
Yeah, that makes sense. We have all the same tools, but cheaper to use.
Yes. And so I really think I honestly believe millions of users could be onboarded to PulseChain, whether they're accessing their ERC20s, their PRC 20 copies, or even just based on the community and the ethos and the price action alone.
The amount of fees that one of these centralized big three dexes would make if they listed PulseChain in its entirety, with all the PRC 20 copies that they probably hold, is huge. It really seems like it's a good business move, no brainer.
Right. Yeah. There's that good game theory that the incentives are laid correctly. And that's what I pointed out in this tweet with 1,900 likes and 624 retweets from 5 days ago is, it's just saying even the scientific community got this big donation of some PRC 20 tokens that are worth millions. And so the more and more incentives are being stacked where, Brian Armstrong likes longevity research. Maybe he'll, do the right thing and list PulseChain because of that. Maybe it'll be like you said, for business reasons. Maybe Kraken is more aligned with our, ethos of fighting the SEC and being so grassroots. So I have Abdoul. I have publicly committed myself to this is my mission right now. And
I saw that.
Because this is a decentralized community like Bitcoin, there's no founder who's going to sign paperwork or, go and do this stuff. And that's a strength of ours. When I think about the long game and when I think about what true crypto is, it's not about middlemen. It's about grassroots community. And so if I can be one of those volunteers that helps to get us a listing on Kraken or Coinbase or Binance, then, I'm on it. I'm on it full time.
Good. I support you in this endeavor, but I still, in my head, I keep the business part of it stuck. Like why would they not do this? There'd be so many opportunities for them to interact, even if it was just on an onboarding, offboarding basis for people like on PulseChain, for people in the Hex community. That it is literally an awesome business move to onboard PulseChain onto your centralized exchange. The fees alone from people moving in and out of USDC, moving in and out of Pulse to get onto PulseChain, in a decentralized fashion would be enough that it would surely be profitable.
Oh yeah, and you've got the bridge that has $100 million sitting there, doing its thing. And so if a centralized exchange can be another bridge mechanism that is able to have a different security posture and to be an even better deal for whales in some cases, or in other cases, it's what I really see happening when I look beyond just like why would a centralized exchange list us? Duh. Of course, for all the reasons we just said. But when I look further down the game theory hatch and look at, well, okay, what is that going to mean to all these Ethereum whales that are sitting there going sideways for 4 years, and now they hear Vitalik say he doesn't want to win? Maybe some of them are going to take a centralized exchange listing as their cue to reevaluate their worldview and to catch the game theory that I've caught, which is maybe Ethereum can't be a store of value and a usable Turing complete, you know, decentralized world computer.
Yeah, why
Because
not?
it certainly wasn't a very like, you know, meritocratic thing last cycle to have to pay $1,000 or $2,000 to end a hex stake. And it seems like now Vitalik has fixed that with like all the layer twos that are doing their job to like not make the price of Ethereum go up or down. And so at some point I ask myself like, well, you know, when are people with all this bag bias in Ethereum, when are they going to ask themselves the tough questions of like, well, what if Vitalik's philosophy is not mad gains forever?
Yeah, like he still does what it's supposed to do in that it's gas for the chain. So,
Right.
you know, if that's the way he's going, I'm not sure I support that, but it won't make ETH go away. I don't see a reason why, you know, the normal cycle that people expect, where it flows from Bitcoin into Ethereum and then Ethereum into other altcoins and other chains, couldn't just skip Ethereum. So why not just move right from 150K Bitcoin onto PulseChain? That works fine for me.
Right. And
But if that's what Vitalik's asking for, maybe he'll get it, right? Okay.
Right. I mean, look, if it becomes a showdown where, you know, I'm right about Vitalik's motive to like keep the prices affordable, keep gas low, and like if the price of Ethereum starts to take off, the most extreme thing he could ever do is to talk about PulseChain. And I'm not counting that out. I don't think that's his next move, but if ETH starts to skyrocket to 10K or something, I mean, I don't see him liking his decentralized world computer being shut down by greedy speculators.
Yep.
So it, you know, it's ironic, I know, but I mean, at some point, maybe PulseChain has already positioned itself to fill a role that has an opening coming soon, being the Ethereum store of value.
I think there is an opening for strong leaders in crypto. So if I'm hoping that RH can fulfill that role, because you know the entire crypto sphere is looking for someone like him. That would be the game changer. If he was on the screen and Vitalik was on the screen, I think I know what people would choose.
Well, I don't think that's necessary. And I know the whole, like right now, the whole PulseChain community being decentralized and like herding cats and everything, people are so obsessed with the price of ETH going up and Richard streaming as the only two ways that the price of PulseChain is going to go up. And when in reality, I think that even all of the SAC funds being deployed, getting a $300 million buy, I mean that's going to send you up 10 or 20 or 40x right there.
Yeah, the green
without Richard streaming, without the price of ETH going up, I think you have and that's just one is that even barely a whale? Is having 200,000 or 400,000 ETH, is that even being a whale in Ethereum? Is that 1% of the supply? Now think about all the other whales that are out there in Ethereum scratching their little whale heads saying like, when is ETH going to do its job this cycle in terms of price appreciation? And they're not there for the tech. I mean, maybe they are there for the tech and for the price appreciation, but some of those whales are there for price appreciation. And so, yeah, that's what makes it so interesting to me that the community narrative could go one way, but in reality, you only need one more God whale. God whale is the guy who came in from Ethereum with 400,000 ETH in Hex's first run, and it was one whale and the origin address buybacks and a community of misfits such as ourselves that got the price to do 10,000x like Ethereum did in its first cycle. Sound familiar? And then, and then now you have an opportunity where only one whale, and it's more cool and DeFi and true crypto for us as a community to be the ones out there doing it, not the founder Richard doing it.
Yeah, no, I see your point. I was thinking about the ETH price today, and I was talking to, on another stream, I was talking to Corey Costa and RH Max and Triplet Dad. And
nice.
We were talking about the price of ETH versus the price of Pulse then versus now. So when the sack bags bought that ETH, I think it averaged $3,700, and PulseChain was like 3 zeros and a 1 or 1-2 perhaps, and now it's like 4 zeros 3-8 or something like that. So the ratio as far as ETH to Pulse, it's actually a better deal now.
That's so cool that you caught that.
Yeah, it was actually, I think Triplet Dad brought it up, and I was like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. It's like, it's actually a better buy to spend your ETH on Pulse now, even though ETH's at $1,900, not 4,000. You actually get more Pulse per ETH by quite a bit. I think almost twice as much. So it's like, okay, that's a cool ratio, and that starts to make sense that a person might deploy at a lower price range like this.
Right. Let me share the. I think I have to stop sharing and then start sharing again. Let's see. So I've got look into rh.com pulled up. Jack Levin shared this today. But it was made by Gerardo. This is, so the quote unquote sacrifice bags that were used to sacrifice for freedom of speech and freedom of movement in association with PulseChain and PulseX. That money did not get sent to North Korea or something. It got, put into an address that the community could track. It already spent something like $20 million buying PulseChain and PulseX at the lows back January 9th last year through March 9th of last year. And so these quote unquote sacrifice bags have a history of buying and supporting the price of Pulse and PulseX and Inc. and Hex. And down 50% in Ethereum, but as Fast Abdoul just pointed out, up as a ratio of PLS, up as a ratio of how much PLS you can buy per ETH.
Yep, exactly.
Brilliant stuff.
So not that we're creating any expectations there. We don't know what that's ETH going to do, but the math don't lie. Right.
Maybe we can get Gerardo to have a toggle switch to look at things that way.
Yeah. Because who knows? Like maybe the whole time that's what that entity was watching for was the ratio, not necessarily the price, right?
You never know. But my, my greater point is this one whale is just one whale of many whales in Ethereum. And, it only takes one of them to wake up. And what could happen is you could get one to wake up and figure out about PulseChain, and then have many more figuring out about PulseChain. And a part of our ethos, and I think the ethos of crypto and Bitcoin early on, was like, let's make new whales. Let's, let's give Main Street and retail adopters the same opportunities that, that the nerds and the professional people have. And so that's why I'm so excited about a Kraken listing or a Coinbase listing, is that they would be tearing down the gates, of like how much of the financial system works. So it'd be giving everyday people an opportunity that maybe they wouldn't have if they're not experts yet at crypto not knowing how to use bridges and navigate getting money into crypto from their bank and then taking self-custody, so on and so forth. So
that could definitely be the catalyst that brings in some whales, and the regular people that find it that way, they're very likely to start finding, us, like guys like you and me and the other influencers in the PulseChain ecosystem. And from that point, we can teach them about decentralized finance, right? And how to keep their own keys for their own crypto.
that's right. So people that are tweaking about the price of crypto or PLS, like right now, on one hand, this is normal. This is a normal situation in crypto where Ethereum is down 50%, Bitcoin is down 50% or so. Tesla stock is down 50%. And, then your altcoins that have less liquidity, but still respectable liquidity, maybe they're down 70%, 75%, something like that, 60%, somewhere in there. And so, man, these prices are just so good. I can't believe it. It's got me really wanting to be all in on this stuff. And in the near future, people might see me start to do something crazy, like take my first Ethereum that I ever bought for $13 and convert that into Pulse. Like, we're getting real close to the point where I'm just about to, as much as I love holding that first ETH, it's like, well, wait a second. Where's the opportunity? Where's the ETH that is going to be a store of value and going to have a bunch of upside, like when I bought this, it's at some point it's just
Ethereum would have to be $6,000 to be to get the same ratio trade that the sack bag would have got back when it was buying it for $3,700. So I think like at the prices back then, right? So yeah, it's pretty tempting to deploy ETH if you're holding it right now.
Right. And I kind of saw the 4-year cycle breaking down because of these trade wars a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and started talking about it on some shows. That's when I got out of my like sizable ETH position into Pulse and PulseX, is, when I started to see that break down. There's all this opportunity ahead for PulseChain and for Ethereum. Yeah, maybe if the 4-year cycle is broken, maybe we see a new all-time high in 2026 for Bitcoin or for Ethereum. But I don't see the leadership in Ethereum and the people who are actually writing the code and, like leading the culture. I don't see them saying, we want the price to go up. Although they did take a long on Ethereum yesterday, the Ethereum Foundation. So that gives me a little bit of like hope.
They took a long and then they told people about it, right?
I think people saw it.
Yeah. So I think by long they took a loan out on Aave against the Ethereum, which is a way to take a long. But I'm just concerned that because it was a public thing, like those guys could be doing that with one wallet, but they could have other wallets they're doing other things with where they're taking shorts. We don't know for sure, but it sounds bullish.
Usually they only do it Vitalik tells them. So maybe I've got it wrong about him. But even if I've got it wrong about him and we don't get any, and we only get one new whale instead of 100 new whales, well, I guess you can't have 100 whales who have 1% because then that doesn't leave anybody else.
That's true. Change the standard.
But okay. So how many Ethereum are there in the world?
Oh, a lot. I'll look it up.
Is it 400 million?
Well, it's inflationary, right?
Well, but it stays around the same. Somebody says $70 million long. It's time to empty grandma's coin jars and do strange things for change on stage this weekend. Get all in, says Digital Money Marcus. An ETH whale got liquidated for $120 million on a leveraged position yesterday. Well, prop firms just keep blowing up and like to be quiet about it, but it's pretty obvious when you see price movements like that. When ETH is down 8%, somebody had to blow up after we've been going down so much. Fast. Have you counted all the Ethereum in existence yet?
I'm counting the Ethereum right now.
You guys,
Total
doing a
supply,
full audit,
115.
on gold takes like 50 years, guys. But Fast Abdoul, he's audited Ethereum in record time.
That's right. 120.6 million. ETH.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So 171,000 divided by 120 million. It's 0.1%. So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you that the glorious sacrifice bags that are currently worth $328 million worth of Ethereum are barely in the shark position.
ETH shark.
That's one magnitude lower than a whale. So a whale in Ethereum could do 10 times as much pumpage as the sack bags that you're so longing for.
Oh, let's meet some more ETH whales.
Right.
I think the conferences you go to outside of the ecosystem, Maddie, I think that's going to be where these guys come from. Like the ETH whales that come to PulseChain are probably going to be people that you've already met. They might not tell you, but I think that's likely to be the case.
Could be. Yeah. Like I met Brock Pierce and was hanging out with him, and he's a billionaire in crypto. See, the thing about being a billionaire in crypto is it's way more powerful than just being a billionaire. Because if you're a billionaire on paper in the fiat system, you have to go beg middlemen and banks and all kinds of people, shareholders, and you got to notify the public and wait forever to even move your own money around. Most of the time it's like, you've taken loans to like build your empire like Trump did and that sort of thing. And so like, when we talk about crypto billionaires, it's a completely different level of billionaire because they can press a button and send $1 billion to buy PulseChain or to, do anything they want, compared to people in the legacy system. They have to notify their board. They have to tell the trading commission that they're going to sell this large position, so it's not insider trading, all this stuff. Then their money goes into a digital bank account that they can't just press a button and send. They, have to be in good standing with the government and the banks and everything.
My bank wants a week's notice if I want more than $5,000 in cash. So
right.
I can't imagine if you're a billionaire, if you're like, when can I get my $1 billion? What does your bank say? Right.
Right. In 10 years, when it's worthless. So that's they're out there, people who have lots of money in crypto, and those aren't the only people that we welcome into the mix. But these prices are special right now, and so for me, I would almost hold the reins back. Which I never really do, but I want to onboard more people in my personal life at these prices. Billionaires are going to be fine. I'm not going to stop any billionaires from getting in now, but I mean, at these prices, it gets to be like a moral crisis to me, to tell you the truth. I know we're getting into a little bit of hex therapy here, but dude, I feel guilty that I'm not spending more time onboarding people in my personal life. Why I'm not convincing them harder to get into Pulse.
Yeah. The potential at this point, even just back to sack price, it seems like a pretty good deal.
So yeah, so I mean, I announced on that stream the other day, I put a year's worth of living expenses into Pulse and PulseX around these prices uh, this week. So, um, in case you didn't catch that earlier, like I'm practicing what I preach out here, and you know, I'm I'm in the trenches with you.
Nice.
So yeah, just I can't tell what other people I can't tell other people what to do with their money, and this isn't financial advice, but if if you see me, buying the shit out of something, that that might be a good clue.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, I think now is the time for building on PulseChain, and now is the time for for having faith. And I think we're starting to see that with things like the PLS 369 conference. We have influencers coming together. We have more people working together to do things like get listed on centralized exchanges and to get the word out. We're making new influencers every week. PulseChain has a new influencer of some sort, and I think everybody has that opportunity. So yeah, now's the time to hold hands and be loud. Let's go.
Right.
And things are quieting down with the infighting stuff too. Like there is a notable difference, and it's not because I just blocked everyone that bothers me. I didn't do that. There's things are quieter. Things are more serene on the Pulse chain between different cult members.
Well, we had somebody who may have forgotten my rule about no bullying people if you have a Pulse chain badge. And I noticed that today and successfully encouraged the person to delete their bullying post before I deleted their badge with no refund because I'm trying to get RH to get a badge. I'm trying to make sure that nobody loses their badge, but everybody could if one person is breaking the rules of Twitter and that sort of thing. And I was very pleased that that person chose, that they would rather have the badge than to leave up the post bullying somebody who was, in my estimation, somebody who was showing their face in the community for the first time and probably deserved a much warmer welcome than they got. So
welcome to Pulse Chain. We love you. That is the new line minted by Brizology. Right. And that's what we got to push. But you're right about the badges though. Like we have to have the people who are sporting the badges being good representatives for the community. It's it's very important that we have good people in front for when new people come. We want them to find those people.
I mean, and we've had people with the badges who are questioning the value proposition of PulseChain, and so it's not about limiting their speech at all. It's about just making sure that what you're doing isn't going to delete everybody else's work. And when you're on a platform, even a platform so free and cool as Twitter, there are still rules that we have to follow. But besides that, it's this question of how do we set the right culture so that other good people want to join. And so the more that we can fight both of those fights of we want free speech. We want people to feel welcome here and feel like they can be a part of the online community, be a public facing figure and stuff. So it's a challenge always, to be in any type of leadership position, let alone a leadership position within a decentralized community, because anything goes. There are no rulers in it. It's just people volunteering and trying to create a consensus and hoping that the tragedy of the commons problem in economics doesn't take over too much, and that people do the right thing by volunteering for the right reasons and not scamming others and that kind of stuff.
Yep. No, fair enough. it is a decentralized system. Sometimes I wish there was more centralization in things like, advertising and development and that sort of thing. But there's a trade-off that's good there, where we're fighting the good fight for decentralization.
Right. Somebody's asking if ETH has a deflationary mechanism like pump tires. Not exactly like it, but they have an inflationary and deflationary system that balances itself based on network usage and other factors. So, it's the inflation in PLS at times and probably currently is lower, or we might be close to deflationary compared to Ethereum, which is also, I think Ethereum is less inflationary than Bitcoin typically. So that kind of gives you an idea. And then Bitcoin is typically less inflationary than the dollar.
Yeah, a lot of things are less inflationary than the dollar lately.
Well, yeah, I've got these physical coins that can onboard people to PulseChain without even giving them an electronic device, which most celebrities should be. If you're a celebrity, you should never accept a electronic device from a stranger. But a copper coin. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
With a private key built onto it, so it can hold some PulseChain in cold storage. There we go.
Yeah. If you're watching right now, Joe Rogan, just DM us your address. We'll send one out.
Well, him and I are in the same town, so I'll just go meet him for a photo op while we're at it.
Oh, that makes sense. I'm sure
I can stay. I can stay for a 4-hour stream too, if if he wants.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, he's never had anybody better on for a crypto segment. That'd be a win.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but I think I can give some of the best crypto recommendations for nowadays. Like maybe there was some guy who went on there and talked about Bitcoin when it was $10. Like, it could be hard to beat that guy. But hey, we're out here trying. I mean, man, people really, the price of PulseChain right now tells me that people not everybody understands what this can do. But part of it is people just have to experience it or hear about it on Joe Rogan.
That wouldn't hurt. I think that'd be a good place for them to hear about it. You've been streaming with some pretty big characters though lately. Sorry, I'm not very good with names. What was it? Mario
Nafwal.
Mario, yeah.
Yeah. I went on his show a lot. So that's interesting. They get like 150,000 views. So that's cool. And I just soft chill when I can. And I keep getting invited back. So that must mean I'm doing a good job. And I think a lot of people, they like my insights into general crypto. And that's a place where I can talk about all the crypto psychology that is more macro than our ecosystem.
Yep. And that soft shilling, that is the game sometimes, right? Like if if you have a chance to be on with something that's not strictly about PulseChain, then that's fine. Like you can you're getting your name out there, you're getting your face out there. There is value to our community that you're part of another community, at least on one stream, right?
Yeah. I got something cool coming up.
What's that?
I'm going to a pretty exclusive event. I don't know how exclusive. They haven't told me yet, but I'm going to be at the All In live event for South by Southwest, which is the biggest music festival. It was one of the biggest events in Austin, Texas, and I'll be there. There's 2 of the All In besties will be there. They have the #1 tech and finance podcast in the world. So it's going to be Jason Calacanis and I think David Friedberg are going to be the 2 that are there. And then they will have as a guest speaker, Chris Williamson. Now, Chris Williamson is a YouTuber with 3.4 million followers. And I think he covers lots of stuff, but I think one of the things he streams about is like mental health and tech stuff, maybe.
Well, that's a good fit for you then.
Right. I'm just reading about him a little bit now. He's hosted the Modern Wisdom podcast since 2018, and the show has been downloaded more than 400 million times. So he's one of these long form guys. So only having 3.4 million followers on Instagram might not, be the ticket to influencing the modern world, beyond just posting, glamorous pics of yourself, but like to actually have a long form podcast that's been listened to 500 million times, that's kind of a big deal. So
totally. And I don't know, I don't have 3.4 million followers on TikTok yet, so I see some value there for you.
Right.
What about TikTok? Like, is that something that as a community we should be pursuing more? Like, is there a benefit to PulseChain's moving on to TikTok?
Nope. That's where you go to rot your brain and
oh, really? Okay.
Well, and then if you say something that the Chinese, censorship people don't like, then they shut you down. And we've had that happen to people in our community. And it's great if you're already doing it, and it's great if you already have an audience. But if you're somebody new, Twitter is where you're going to get treated more fairly. You're going to be able to say speak truth to power, and you're going to have a critical mass of people on a platform where this is where the most important information travels for tech, finance, crypto, and politics. When I was getting close with the all the bigwigs in politics a few months ago, and when I went and had floor seats in Madison Square Garden for Trump's last rally there, and Elon Musk is walking right next to me and almost turning the right way so I can give him a PulseChain coin. I mean, that's what I heard is like, if you're a political insider, you're obsessed with Twitter. Like, that's where you get your information. If you're in the tech world, if you're in AI or you're in any sector of like Silicon Valley and stuff, you're getting your information from X. And so when we're talking about influencing whales and crypto millionaires and billionaires, when you go and hit the like button on Twitter for one of my posts or one of RH's posts, Fast Abdoul, any of us, you're creating the social proof that is needed on the most powerful crypto platform that we have for social media. So I think it still makes sense to like be on YouTube. We're on YouTube now. It still makes sense to network with somebody, famous or popular or who has a lot of reach, whether, even if they're just a TikTok star. But people on TikTok, maybe I'm a little biased, but
Twitter is the choice for financial stuff. I think that's an important distinction, right? Like I won't be putting out any dance videos soon, or maybe I should be on TikTok, but for talking about the PulseChain, seems like Twitter is the natural fit.
Right. Oh, hey, welcome to somebody new who just tuned in. Who is this guy? Right. Well, who are you? But with that in mind, welcome to PulseChain. We're talking about a cryptocurrency that is not listed on a centralized exchange yet. However, we have the most volume out of any chain that is not listed on a centralized exchange. So in this show, we typically don't have a lot of information for people who are new, because we're speaking to about 2,000 people every week who are experts already in crypto. But that doesn't mean we can't, like, pause the show every once in a while when somebody new comes in and welcome you. We welcome you. There are, if you go on my YouTube channel, or even if you go anywhere on YouTube, you can look up, like, how to get started with PulseChain, or like, you can go to Crypto Coffee 369, who has intro videos. You can go to your friend Sami, who has some good introduction stuff. You can Crypto Class, who's a doctor, an Australian doctor and YouTuber in PulseChain. She is recommending you go to pulsechain.com. But yeah, I mean, we're talking about this because it's one of these opportunities that a lot of us feel like it's the early days of Ethereum again. When you look at the price of PulseChain and how much activity there is. I'm a mental health therapist who ended up becoming a YouTuber because I believe so much in this community, and I've been here for 5 years, and I've been doing a weekly live stream and never missed a week for the past 223 weeks. So every Tuesday and Thursday night, I'm here rallying the troops, and we have about 170 YouTubers that have come onto our conferences online, and we've even met a lot of them in person to make sure that they're not bots or AI.
Yep.
So welcome to the party. This is what it feels like to be early to something where, it might not be something you've heard about a lot on your, crypto news app, if it's not Twitter. But definitely cool that you're finding us on YouTube, and I'd encourage you to subscribe, because every 6 months I do an online conference, and we've got one coming up for PulseChain here in about 2 months. And that's pretty cool, because even somebody who's new to PulseChain can get up to speed by watching one of the conferences. And if you go to pulsechainconference.com, you can go back and look at the one that we had last year with, I don't know if we had 50 or 100 people in that one, but it was a lot.
Oh yeah. Well, they're always big. There's never been a small one where I'm like, I even as a community member, I'm always surprised by the number of people who speak at the conferences.
Oh yeah.
Especially that time where you set the world record. That was.
Well, it's great too, because let's say that I'm somebody who has crypto as a hobby, and I want to do my own research and like listen to real people talking about it. I can go to one of these conferences with 100 speakers, and I can find the people who I like listening to the best. Everybody's got a different perspective. And so what we find when we do these online conferences every 6 months is that everybody who participates ends up getting more viewers that they, of people who are finding them on their own channels once they've, done a good job of showing how they can connect with people.
So what can we do to, spread the PulseChain audience bigger? Like, is there, you've broken the gap, and you're on with Mario and, other crypto bigwigs from around the globe. How can the general populace assist in this battle?
Well, look, I have great reason to believe that we have started catching the attention of the top 3 centralized exchanges, and I'm gonna write an essay in the next couple of days and put it on Twitter. It's almost done. So in the next couple of days, you'll see like all of the stuff I'm seeing.
Okay.
But look, I can tell you what we're doing right now is working. And what we're doing right now is people are hitting like and retweet, and they're putting a meaningful comment below when we say something good about the centralized exchanges. Now, look, I was meaning to bring up this point anyway, that there's a reason why I put in the title today, Kraken equals high friendship compatibility with PLS, because I've even seen one of our most dedicated and hardworking YouTubers, your friend Sami, write some kind of inappropriate stuff about the exchanges not listing us yet. I won't repeat some of it because it's vulgar, which isn't his typical style. I think he's a little bit under the weather right now, but certainly I don't think everybody realizes that they are watching us and they are going to decide whether to list us or not based on what you guys are saying out there on social media. So kill them with kindness and try to amplify anybody who is spreading a message that is full of positivity, because the more we can associate PulseChain with people who are, positive and happy and welcoming and here for the right reasons, the better. Yep. Now is a critical time.
Like amplifying people that are spreading the right message, especially that you're I don't want to say the word leaders because we don't have a leader, but the influencers that are really carrying the torch, that are big, right? Like Maddie. If you're sharing Maddie's post and you're commenting on Maddie's post, and you're liking Maddie's post, and it hits the Twitter algorithm, the gains could be exponential compared to if you only have 300 followers yourself, right? So even though you only have 300 followers, you share Maddie's, you like Maddie's, and you make a comment, and if enough people do that, like Twitter will pick it up, more people will see it. The math will work for us.
It creates social proof, and there's already famous crypto people following me who are going to see when it comes across their screen how many people have liked something. And so if people really wanted to get aggressive and serious about helping to get a centralized exchange listing, I will post here now the link to my Telegram room where I drop my tweets when they're fresh. The nice thing about you guys hitting the like and share and leaving a thoughtful comment under a fresh tweet is that that matters. Like the amount of time it takes to get, like if 100 people see the tweet and 5 people haven't liked it yet, then the tweet isn't going to do as well. And maybe some of these whales that I know are watching us now and leaders who we need their help, maybe they're going to see it. Maybe they're in the first 1,000 people that see it. And so if it doesn't already have 50 or 100 likes, it's not going to be as impressive. And it's not going to influence them as much. So even you as a person who's never shown their face and, and you're out there and you just want to get a little bit more involved, like that, that's something that you can do is go to my Telegram, t.me/smartvaultme. I also post in t.me/hex conference. So that's a little easier one to remember. I'll drop that one too.
Good. And how important is speed with Twitter? Like if a post comes out, does it matter if I like it today or if I like it tomorrow? Is it better if it's fast?
Yes, it matters how fast you like it.
Okay. And are shares more important than likes?
Slightly, but a thoughtful comment is more important than a retweet.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that. I always thought retweet was like the ultimate one, but I'll get on.
It used to be.
Okay.
And then and then simply retweeting everything does not help and can slightly hurt. Like it can make your account seem like a bot.
Right.
But that's why I'm saying it's important to just look and like, oh, that's something that is a long essay that took Maddie over an hour to write and do research on. It's like a whole article. Okay, that seems like a good one to like engage fully with. Oh, this is just, Maddie tweeting about something, silly or irrelevant or something. That's not as important. So when it's something that's trying to get the attention of these centralized exchanges, and you will know the tweet that I'm putting out in a couple days. It's either going to be Thursday or Friday, but you'll know which one needs your help.
Okay. I think as a community, we should really run a campaign on that tweet then of like thoughtful comments, sharing and liking. Right. And you can make more than one comment. I don't see why not. But yeah, that's cool. What about the quote feature on Twitter? I've been playing with that, but I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. If I quote you on something, is that beneficial?
Bookmarking helps. Yes. Far out aliens. Spending more time on it. So if you actually like read through it, or if you like read through the comments, that actually helps to boost the post when you're spending more time on it. Fast Abdoul, with your question about quote tweeting something, that's really helpful if you're saying something that causes people to engage with the actual tweet. But just like an unrelated quote tweet or something, basically what that does is it increases the views, but if it doesn't increase the engagement with that specific, with people like kind of clicking through to the original tweet, then the original tweet gets a higher view count, but it doesn't get a higher metric on all those other things like retweets,
so
likes.
You want them to click through to the
time spent.
The tweet.
Right. So, I mean, it's all helpful compared to nothing, but in terms of, because sometimes like if you have a thoughtful comment instead of a quote tweet, then the algorithm is going to show both the original tweet and the reply together on the timeline. And so that allows people to engage with it instead of kind of separating it into like this quote tweet where there's two different things to engage with. And it's just harder for people to click through to something rather than, only interact with it on your separate tweet that the quote tweet represents. So these are great questions.
Cool. Yeah, no, I think it's important as a community, we know how to play the Twitter game, right? Like how the algorithm works. So when we have something, a big thing that we're pushing for together, like this centralized listing, that we can, we can participate properly.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And this matters if, if 100 people who see this, out of the 2,000 people that watch the show regularly, if they up their game a little bit, that's going to take us to the next level. So yeah, I'm excited, and yeah, that's where I'm putting my effort right now. It's like, real focused here. So
cool. I approve.
Yeah.
So what else is going on in the ecosystem?
Well, I mean, we talked a little bit about the macro. The trade war stuff might come to its worst point on April 2nd, or it could be resolved before then. And so, what I've been telling like friends and family and PulseChain lovers alike, that basically trade wars, they can start and end much more quickly than a regular war. And so, it doesn't take a year to pull your troops out of a trade war, the president just wakes up one day and says like, "Oh, just kidding. You know, we got what we want with the border being more secure and like the fentanyl not killing everybody. And, you know, you guys decided to give us the same deal we're giving you. So now it's over." But for people to really understand the macro, you have to understand that like what a trade war does is it increases inflation, which then the stock market is like, oh no, if inflation goes up, then the Fed is not going to cut rates. If the Fed doesn't cut rates, then people, you know, then the stock market goes down in price, crypto goes down in price, and people flee to safer assets, you know, like the higher interest rates that they're getting. Nobody gets pushed into risk assets because interest rates are being lowered. And but I at least saw one thoughtful post today that said that inflation is coming down since the trade war started, and stocks like Tesla lost 50% and crypto has lost some of its value because people aren't spending money, because their stocks aren't going up to new all-time highs, and that's bringing inflation down. And once inflation comes down enough, then the Federal Reserve can cut rates, and then it'll be back to risk on and all that kind of stuff. But that's part of the reason why I'm predicting that maybe the 4-year cycle where the new all-time highs come in May to November this year, maybe that'll get pushed back an extra 6 months or a year. Maybe everything will resolve much quicker, but if we have to wait another month for the trade war to be over, or if it could be over tomorrow, that's gonna kind of affect our timeline on what used to be the 4-year cycle based on the Bitcoin halvening, which now the amount of Bitcoin that are already out there is more than what's getting cut. So
I think those trade wars are going to come to an end. There was some, news today where some tariffs that were going to be imposed against Canada, Trump decided to cancel them and said he was going to have a conversation with Canada. And I know that's just one of the countries involved in said trade wars, but I think this is a negotiation tactic that he's likely using to make better deals, but it won't result in like sort of long-term trade wars. Is probably not the deal that he's looking for. So, I could see him playing this game to get inflation down, like you're saying, and then, and then making deals that are overall beneficial where everybody's probably not happy, but equally not happy. And then business goes on, the bull market goes on, the stock market goes back up, all the things that he probably wants to.
Right. Yeah. And that's part of negotiating, is like, people have to believe you that like, hey, I'm really going to do this. And then, you meet in the middle or something, and then the market doesn't have as much risk to price in, and things can go back to being productive and up only.
Yeah. When countries cooperate, just like when communities and crypto cooperate, like it's going to be a larger win overall. So we may be back to a free trade type arrangement, and everybody will just keep, building and selling stuff to each other, and we'll have, we'll have the bull season of a lifetime.
That's right. Well, we can dream.
Indeed.
What does this mean? Australia has a candidate?
I'm not sure.
The chat is chat's going into great conversations, I'm sure, but I think I'm lost. So
maybe Australia has a political candidate.
I don't know. Everything in Australia, it can mean something else. Okay, breakdancing. There we go. Okay. Right. Okay, so it was the comment about the Olympics there. Indeed. I get it now.
That was a classic.
See, now I don't think that Australian breakdancer cashed in as much as Hawk Tua did, but she definitely got as much shit for it as if she would have rugged a meme coin, and she didn't rug anything except I guess some people's, I guess her own dignity. But
She rugged the Olympics. That's got to be worth something.
Right. Well, some of us loved it, so I'm in that camp. I was just sad that I couldn't lose money on it to a bunch of snipers on Solana. She didn't lean in enough, right? Yeah. So there you go. Well, that settles that. We've solved the Olympics. What's next?
Next problem. Bring us your concerns, chat. We will solve them.
So, yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, things are pretty focused right now. Like for me, yeah, I want to sell everything I own and buy more PulseChain. I want to get us an exchange listing that we deserve, I feel like, and continue to grow this this culture in the PulseChain community where, you know, people are lifting each other up. I have a great example of this that I can share here. So this tweet didn't get any likes, which whatever, but I quote tweeted, so maybe that was my problem. We were just talking about that. But so so Tam Tam has written an essay here about why she loves one of the community members, why she's so inspired by what she's seeing with one of the other Hexicans. And I had written an essay about her a week or two ago saying how much I appreciate her. So here she says, Will Stevenson is the epitome of what it means to be both a man and a true Hexican. His story is nothing short of inspiring. A former Marine, Will now travels the country building towers. His commitment to securing generational wealth through Hex is unmatched. He lives in a shipping container and often opts to sleep in his truck rather than spending money on hotels, all to maximize his Hex accumulation. He sees the rare opportunity in front of him and is making smart sacrifices now to set himself up for life. What truly sets Will apart is his consistently positive and upbeat attitude. No matter the circumstances, he faces every challenge head on with a smile and an unwavering willingness to go the extra mile. I've been watching his streams for years, and not once have I seen him complain or show a hint of negativity. Will's resilience and optimism are nothing short of remarkable. Will also dedicates his time to strengthening the Hex community. He streams regularly with DGen Roundtable on YouTube and takes the initiative to organize Hexican meetups, bringing people together and creating real connections. He, as an exceptional life coach, he shares valuable insights that help us all grow into the best versions of ourselves. Every Friday, they host our book club, where we've covered everything from RH's books to topics that promote personal growth and success. He leads by example, showing what it means to be disciplined, driven, and optimistic. Everyone should follow him and take his advice. He's a rare gem in the space. Will doesn't just talk the talk, he walks the walk, and his influence pushes me to do the same. If you don't follow Will Stevenson X on Twitter and tune into his streams, you're definitely missing out. So I'll share the link to that here.
Now, liked and retweeted and made thoughtful comments on both your quote and the original post.
How kind of you. You're playing the game right, and so should everybody else. Thomas Winter, we're not there yet, but we're talking about how to get there. And you know, that could be more valuable information just talking about how to get there than already being there. Because I think you would probably see a pretty crazy price surge if we got on there. And
I think if a lot of people in those top 3 exchanges Twitter posts asked, did PulseChain get listed yet? They might notice that too.
Right. Oh, hey, and Tam Tam is here in the chat now.
Hey, Tam Tam. Tam Tam's in all the chats. She's like a female fast Abdoul. She's everywhere.
Hey. That's a compliment to you both. Cool. Yeah. So we have two goats here that can team up. Teamwork makes the dream work, and that's PulseChain and Kraken. And all of you who are watching, you could assist by waiting for this next essay to come out from Maddie Allen on Thursday or Friday, and have your notifications turned on and like, retweet, and comment super nice things.
Just another quick Twitter question, as long as we're digging into this. Is there a difference between whether there's an image included with the post or not an image as far as the algorithm?
Yeah, having an image does better.
Really? Okay. Noted.
Yep.
Yeah, we can all become experts on this, man. We could really hit the Twitter sphere hard.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is our strength, and it can grow to be even more of a superpower. Like I said, what we're doing is working, and you'll see my tweet on Thursday or Friday, and you'll have proof that what we're doing is working. And I'm looking forward to that greatly.
I think times are changing on Twitter too for like interest in crypto and financial things. Like I've noticed just a big uptick in the number of views on my posts for no, apart from the PulseChain badge, which is obviously boosting it. But like there's more people who are hitting on the crypto stuff than there was 3 months ago. Now is the season to be loud.
Let's go.
Woo.
Jeffrey says, I met Will at the conference, referring to this past weekend. I'm super impressed with his character. He is an above and beyond kind of guy, just like you two gentlemen. Well, thank you. That's kind of you to say.
I also met Will. I was also impressed with his physique. He is a very fit young man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Susie Q is telling Tam Tam it's sweet of her to write a good essay about Will. And Susie Q was also out there at the conference and says Will is so amazing.
I met Susie.
I always love her. She's one of the most positive people we have in this community. Her and Tam Tam are both off the charts in their positivity.
Indeed.
What's up, Old Zealand? What's up, gang? Well, we're reporting live that these prices don't match up with all the potential here. So that's a pretty cool opportunity for those people paying attention.
Definitely.
We've also discovered that the sacrifice address is only a shark in Ethereum, and so really the sky's the limit in terms of how well PulseChain could do here. So in terms of all that, I mean, I'm not sure that I have a whole lot more to cover today because we've already covered the most important parts of like what's happening with macro, why is the 4-year cycle broken? Just because it's broken, does that mean that we're going down for 2 years? Because being broken is a different kind of being over than like the 4-year cycle is over because the top is in, but then we're still going every 4 years in this cycle. What I'm saying here is that like, you could have a new all-time high at a time when you would normally predict a low. So that's pretty big news, but we already covered it. We talked about what matters a lot right now, which is this community having like a culture of positivity, this community working together to get listed on a centralized exchange, not because we have a founder who is going to pay for something to get listed, but because we have such an impressive decentralized community of people that must have come from some, we have a really good product here too. We have, PulseChain is not your average crypto. So
Agreed. Ethereum was PulseChain's testnet. Any of the upgrades on Ethereum will get rolled out to PulseChain. It's a good place to be.
it is. So I don't have a whole lot more to cover right now. What about you?
I guess I can mention that I got my audit back for ink printer. And it came back clean. So we'll be launching very soon, probably early next week.
Cool. Congrats. That's a big deal. We love audits. Are you publishing it?
Yeah, I've already posted in the Telegram room. So
awesome.
Not that most people could understand it, but they could understand the part where it says, no risk, no risk, no risk, no risk. So right. It's a detailed audit done by a good ethical company, and covers everything. The main thing is that it's a liquidity fork, which has been audited 100 times before. I think this is the 39th fork of liquidity. So this audit proves it is that, and that it is an immutable protocol with no admin keys.
Right. I dig it. And where do people go to like find the audit and find out more information about that?
They can hit the ink printer chat. I guess I can just drop that in the chat here. That's we have all the links there. The website will be inkprinter.com. The test version is up yet, test.inkprinter.com, but that is up. But the full website won't be up until the protocol is live, because we're not doing any flashy stuff. It just takes you right to the protocol. So I've dropped the Telegram in the chat here.
Cool.
You can check it out there, which will
t.me/ink printer chat.
Yep, that is it.
Original Beings is back. Digital Money Markets, did RH hint towards buying his own centralized exchange? I didn't see that. His tweets seemed to say like, if you want to get listed, go do it yourself. And that's one of the strengths of this community, that it's not possible with other top 10 or top 20 cryptos. Cardano and XRP and other chains you've heard of, they can't just leave it up to the community to do stuff. But in this case, we can. So we're going to lean into our strengths here and prove that we're different than everything else, because that gives us a better value proposition in the end anyway. So I see the community relying on stuff that is not as relevant to pump their bags, when in reality, you already have the best product at the best price. And so like, you need to think very carefully about like who deserves to get rich that and talk to them about getting in at these prices, rather than waiting on Richard Hart to like buy an exchange. Because I can't see this opportunity lasting forever. And I personally can tell you that I have not onboarded everybody I could possibly onboard who I think is an awesome person and deserves to be in the fastest appreciating asset in human history that this could end up being. So just because we went sideways for a while, that doesn't mean anything. And green candles print more green candles. So I would stop speculating on things that one person could do and ask, what can I do?
Yeah, agreed. There's a lot of heat put on the public faces of PulseChain. Just become one, and help us out. That is the play.
Yep. So go ahead and rewind if you want to see what we're talking about, because we've already summarized it like 2 or 3 times, and we've got good stuff there. Love the message. Great show. It's hard when all my onboards hit me right now. Well, they keep their bags, then they're going to be fine. But maybe there are other people that are right for the message now, and maybe there are people who are in your life and they aren't going to get it just yet, and that's okay too. For me, I'm specifically thinking of one person who reached out and said, please teach me how to do crypto. They don't have that much money, but they, like they've shown the willingness to do it. And so now I need to get out there and make sure I take care of them before we go to the moon. So
Right on. Let me know if I can help you with that. Because that's
thanks.
People need a helping hand the first time. That's for sure.
Yep. So with that being said, we've all got work to do. So let's get back to it. And if you want to become an onboarder, you can learn about different ways to get involved in onboarding. I have a website called solidusKey.com, and it tells you not only like a physical wallet that you can buy to like help people get onboarded, but there's also a free PDF that gives instructions on how to use PulseChain and how to use the bridge and how to get money in without even buying my product. So you just go to solidusKey.com, and then it takes you to my blog, and it tells you about how I onboard people. And then if you scroll down to what's in the box, you can see the PDF, a link there. Here, I can show it on my screen. But this will give you the pro onboarding instructions that people need. Here we go. So this is the instructions that I wrote up myself to explain how you can get in and do things right in a secure fashion, and all the settings that you need to be able to onboard into PulseChain. And it also tells you about the community, and there's paid courses you can do that are not mine, and there's weekly shows and daily shows about PulseChain and Hex, and a bunch of, there's probably 30 YouTubers you can find here. There's 3 different movies about Hex and PulseChain that are out there. There's all these websites that I use that are out there, gopulse.com and stuff like that. And then there's even a history of like the coin and what the meaning is of it and everything. So yeah, this is cool, and it's free for you to just go get those instructions and get started.
Nice.
Yeah.
The coins actually look pretty cool. Are they still? Can you still buy them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
I like it.
And the instructions are there at the top of the website for solidusKey.com. I haven't talked about that in a while, but yeah, I gave away like 10 of them, I think, at the PulseChain conference. But yeah, we've got some that we can sell all around the world pretty much. And there's different instructions for how much to pay if you're doing international shipping, or if you get one in the United States. So there you go. Cool. So everybody's up to speed there. Go ahead and follow all my links at you can just go to hexconference.com and you'll find a link to me on Twitter and YouTube and elsewhere. Fast Abdoul, where do people find you?
I can be found on Twitter under @FastAbdoul, as seen on the screen here. Or you can check out the ink printer chat that we've dropped in the comments. That'll be the next big thing that's coming up.
Cool. And so, yeah, so we'll wrap it up there. Go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button and share this out. Until next time, stake wisely, my friends, and peace out.
the relaxing music.